Hi everybody, welcome back to the Retro Ghetto for yet another bonus CEX lottery video. This is by far the most expensive game that I'm going to be opening on one of these videos. And to be honest, I'm kind of running out of patience. This might well be the last one of these that I film because I feel like we're cursed. I used to get manuals in my retro games before I started filming them. Since we've been filming this series, I've not had one manual in any of my retro CEX purchases that I've made online. So let's hope we book the trend today. As I say, this is the most expensive one thus far. This game's £135, and the way in which I bought this was with CEX vouchers. Off the back of my how many video games can I complete in one day video, I decided to sell my PlayStation VR bundle for a few different reasons. One, I played through the games that I really wanted to play, sort of Astro Bot, Super Hot. They were the games that I really enjoyed. It's a shame there wasn't more sort of Astro Bot style games on the system. Also, with the PSVR 2 being announced, I'll end up picking that at some point down the road. And I think a lot of people are starting to trade it into CEX. So I think now is definitely the time to trade it in if you're going to do so, because I can only see the prices that they give for trading on the PSVR plummeting. So I traded in that. I traded in both the Move controllers and the PS camera because I don't take it together. So between them, I got like £110. Add that to a couple of trade-ins. And yeah, this game's been paid for via charity shop finds and what I traded in, i.e. my PlayStation VR setup. So yeah, with all that being said, £135. It's an expensive game. It's a lot of money to spend on one game, which is why I like to do it with vouchers. It's Super Nintendo. Let's get that out of the way straight away. As you can see from the wall behind me, the Super Nintendo is by far my favourite console. It's the console I grew up with. It's the console that not only have I got nostalgia glasses for, I genuinely think it's the best console ever made. I think the games stand up to the test of time to this day. This is a game I'm very, very excited not only to own, but to play. It's a game I've been after for a long time. And yeah, I was very happy to see that CEX had this in stock. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay guys, so here it is. I've got this today. I always like to film these on the same day that I get them, simply because I'm like a kid at Christmas when it comes to getting these. I love getting retro video games in the post, especially Super Nintendo, and I want to play this tonight. So yeah, there's a nice little pull tab on here. So let's do what we do. I mean, how anticlimactic was that? This, you know, if this wasn't being filmed as an unboxing, this is where we do that again. But yeah, it is what it is. It looks like we're tearing into it the old-fashioned way. Right, okay. Bubble wrap. Not the usual Yarmy wrap. Pull all this out. As always, let's get rid of the sales receipt. And yeah, let's see what we've got here. Let's see what we've got. So, there is bubble wrap in the bottom. There's a lot of bubble wrap around the game itself. Yeah, I mean, I've probably had better packaging in terms of what it looks like from CEX, but I'm sure bubble wrap does the job. There's plenty of it. Right, I can obviously see through the bubble wrap, and the initial signs are good. It feels quite heavy as well, but that could be the bubble. Let's have a look. I'll tell you guys what it is. You know the drill by now. We'll have a look at what the game's about, and then we'll dissect whether it's complete and the condition. That game is, for the Super Nintendo, Sparkster. Sparkster is a 1994 side-scrolling platformer published by Konami. Now for me, that sentence alone is enough to sell you on the game. Super Nintendo, side-scrolling platformer, Konami. What more do you need to know, right? This game consists of 9 stages, each consisting of a boss and a mid-boss. There was also on the Mega Drive Rocket Knight Adventures, where you play as Sparkster, but this is its own game. It is different from the Mega Drive game, which I'm hoping to pick up further down the line. And Sparkster is the only game from the Rocket Knight Adventures franchise that reached any Nintendo platform. So anyway, with all that being said, let's get into it. I'm sitting here smiling because, I don't know, I feel like it feels heavy, and it looks like you're in good condition. Well, I'm not going to say good condition, right? I'm going to say acceptable condition. You guys know I'm not a mint collector. I know a lot of you guys out there are, but for me, There's like a limit of acceptance. And this is looking acceptable, right? You'll be seeing on screen now, to the right of where it says Sparkster, there is what I think is actual sticker residue. So that will come off, so that's okay. Then to the left of the S of Sparkster, there's been a sticker. The sticker's been removed. I think the majority of what we can see on here is sticker residue. So I think I can get most of that off. There's undoubtedly a bit of the ink which has come off with it, because especially where it's on the black Super Nintendo section of the box. So there's a little bit of damage there, but for me, this is perfect. Like, for saying I bought this with vouchers, I'm more than happy with that. The corners, yeah, it's a little bit tatty in the corners, but again, that doesn't bother me. A little bit of pen on the barcode, again, doesn't bother me. I'm not bothered about things like that, I'm not. This is going to look fantastic in a box protector. And once we've finished this, as I always, what I do is I give you my thoughts on the gameplay, but also I'm going to try and tidy this box up a bit. I probably might get the iron out, try and get some of these stickers off and things like that, and I'll be able to show you guys exactly how good we can make this box look. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. It feels heavy, so that's why I'm smiling, right? And my cheeks are starting to hurt, because I think this has got a manual in it, but I have been stung like this before I started recording these. I thought there was a manual, then you open it up and it's just a load of like leaflets, or someone's put a load of bubble wrap in it. So yeah, without further ado, let's see. Hallelujah! We've got a manual! We've only gone and got a manual, and we've got it on the most expensive game that I've recorded thus far. The most expensive game I've bought in a long time, actually, £135. Yeah, manual's here. A little bit of, you know, it's not even, I won't say damage, it's a little bit creased in the corner, that's nothing. I'm well happy with that. Yes, we've got a complete Super Nintendo game, and not just any game. A very desirable, sought after Konami side-scrolling platformer. I'm delighted that of all the games that we've finally managed to get one complete, is this one. Let's have a look. So we've got the cartridge. Yeah, cartridge is in nice condition. Nothing wrong with that. It's like the original inlay. Yeah, I'm more than happy. Let's just say, for example, I walked into my local CEX and this was in the window, I'd have snapped the hand off. So I'm absolutely delighted to have received this. Shout out to the gentleman that always comments on these kind of videos and says that these videos are not a waste of time. That might be harsh, but there's no gamble here. There's no roulette, there's no lottery. It's the case of, unless you order mint, you're not going to get a manual. I've been trying to tell him that isn't the case, right? Because I've ordered hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of games in my time before I started filming them, where I got manuals, but just recently I haven't been getting any. But here is the proof that you don't have to order mint to get a manual. We've got a manual. And just touching on that mint subject, I actually went through the system recently, and out of every single Super Nintendo and every single Mega Drive game that is on the CEX database at time of recording, there are just 2 games that are in the mint category, and that is Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 on the Mega Drive. And obviously, as you'd expect, at a very inflated price. So yeah, the whole mint debate with CEX is somewhat irrelevant, because firstly, they don't even have them on the system, but also now we can lay to rest and we can confirm that you can get manuals with standard priced games through the CEX app. I'm so happy. This is a CEX win. I don't care. There's no debate. We've got a win. Sparkster. I'm going to be seeing you guys real soon with my thoughts on the gameplay and also what this box looks like once I've tidied it up a little bit. But yeah, man, that's made my evening. Get in. I'm falling over. I'm that happy. Hi everybody, it's early the following morning, getting some time on Sparkster before the rest of the family wake up, hence the pyjama bottoms and socks. I did actually get to level 3, but then I died, so I lost a continue, so it's taking me back to the first level. But I wanted to show you guys the first level, because it really does highlight just how beautiful this game is. Obviously what you'd expect from Konami of the era, amazing music, fantastic sprite work, but look at that water underneath, look at that perfect reflection. I mean, in 1994, that was the height of graphics, right? So sort of 94, 95 when this game came out, I feel like developers had really hit the stride with the Super Nintendo, knew how to get the most from the system, and this game really shows that. I'm eager that I don't want to rush through the whole game, because from what I gather it's quite a short game, and this will be getting played once I finish Ragnarok and Phelios. This is definitely going to be the next game on my list to complete. But yeah, it's a fantastic game, loads of fun. I can see why people enjoy it. Definitely one I would recommend playing if you get a chance to. But as I say, what we're going to do now is look at cleaning up that box. Okay guys, so we're going to look at tidying up this box a bit. In terms of the manual, don't think the manual really needs too much doing to it. I'm not worried about that little bit of fraying at the bottom, that's absolutely fine. But the first bit that we're going to tackle is this section here, which just looks like sticker residue. Had a little go, it's been there a long time, it's probably been there more than 20 years, so I'm not going to scratch it off that way. What I tend to do is just use like a furniture polish. This is just a cheap Aldi one. Normally I just spray it directly on and leave it. With this being a bit more of an expensive game and it being Nintendo cardboard, I don't want to leave too much moisture soaking on there. So what I'm going to do is I grab a microfiber cloth, just spray a little bit on, and then what I tend to do is just dab it on lightly into the affected area, just so basically it's not too wet, so you're not getting too much moisture onto the cardboard itself. And then what I tend to do is just let that sit for a minute, and then it should peel straight off. Let's see. Okay, so it's probably been 30 seconds to a minute since I sprayed it on. And what I'm going to try and do now is just simply scratch it off really lightly with my finger. I know this might not be coming from on camera the best, but right now my priority is the game itself. Even if you can't see it, I can really feel that residue coming off in my fingernail. I say just go really lightly. But what is imperative that you do is you check before you do any spraying or scratching that it is sticker residue and it's not damage to the existing artwork or cardboard, because you don't want to be spraying any sort of liquid or scratching the box, because you're only going to make it worse if that is the case. As you can see, this is getting off any little bits of dirt. There was a bit of sticker residue here, look. Just have to go really slowly, and eventually you will see that start to come off. Again, apologies if it's not picking up the best on camera, but I will be showing you guys a before and after. I'm just going to keep scratching this. One of the things that I should have mentioned before you do this, really, put the insert back in or something to pad it out, just in case you do press on a bit too hard. You don't want to damage the box, you don't want to press the cardboard in too much and create any more creases. So make sure you pad it out the box a bit before you do this, ideally. Okay, and with some light scratching, you can already see that's loads better than it was. But if you catch it in the right light, you will see, look, there's still some sticker residue. So it just depends how far you want to go with it. I might get this a little bit more play just to see if we can get a little bit more of that sticker residue off there. There you go, you can see it perfectly there. And again, it's just a case of doing it bit by bit. Don't go rushing in, don't put too much of any sort of liquid on the box. Just do it like a section at a time. Take your time with it, and if it's going well, keep doing it. I think that's enough for that section. I'm happy with how that's come out. Looks loads better than it did. Again, I'll be showing you before and after. It's not about seeking perfection. This is not a mint box, right? So what you don't want to do is do too much and end up causing damage, because there's nothing more frustrating than creating your own damage. A game comes slightly damaged, it is what it is, you didn't do it, but there's nothing more annoying, believe me, than creating your own damage on these games. So yeah, I'm happy enough with that. Now we're going to tackle the barcode that's got the bit of ink on it, and again there's a bit of sticker residue, and I'm just going to repeat the same process. I'm going to spray some of the polish directly onto the microfiber, and I'm going to have a quick go at rubbing that just to see if that will come off. I'm not really sure, I'm not an expert when it comes to getting ink off, but ultimately I'm not too bothered anyway. But I'll definitely get these bits of sticker residue off, and I'll show you guys what that looks like when we're done. Okay, so we got the sticker residue off and the ink itself is coming off slowly. Now what you'll see is I have actually sprayed it here. And that's a gamble I'm willing to take, simply because it's the bottom corner of the box. And what you need to make sure you're doing is wiping off any excess, so you're not going over any areas that aren't affected. And then just simply let that sit for about a minute, and then it should rub off a bit better. As I keep saying, we're not seeking perfection here. It's just making it better than it was. All the sticker residue is gone already. Keep this bit clear. A really important bit when it comes to spraying with anything is you see these sort of slightly frayed edges. you don't want to be getting moisture there, because that will really get into the actual cardboard, because it's already going to penetrate the ink, which obviously isn't there. So yeah, that's probably had long enough now, so I'll give this another little rub and we'll see if that makes any difference. So it really depends how long you want to do this for. For me personally, that's loads lighter than it was. I'm happy with that. Normally I probably wouldn't even be too bothered about the barcode on the reverse. I'm just sort of doing this just to show you guys the process I go through to clean my boxes up a bit. All that sticker residue is gone. Again, this is loads lighter than it was. I could probably spend another 10-15 minutes going at it and you'd barely see it, but yeah, I'm happy enough with that. And again, if you compare it to what it looked like before, it's loads better. So now I'm going to tackle the most trickiest bit, the worst condition bit of the box, which is here. Now this one we're going to handle slightly differently, simply because you can already see that there is some damage to the box. You can already see where someone's put the sticker off. Some of the black has gone off. Now black is the trickiest colour, because you know it really does highlight obviously the difference between the black and the white once you sort of lose a bit of that ink. So we're going to really lightly put some of the spray on our cloth, just dab it around this area, so we're going to avoid the area where the damage is, because again we don't want any moisture seeping into the cardboard. We're going to let it soak for probably like 30 seconds and we're going to work this area very, very carefully. Right, so you'll notice as this is drying that the moisture is only on the affected area. You can even see where the existing damage is. There's no moisture there. I didn't put any on it, and I also just double checked by drying over that area as well. So yeah, now's the scary bit, I guess. We're going to attempt to where are we? We're going to attempt to scratch this off and see if we can get some off without causing any damage to the ink underneath. Again, we're just going to lightly use your nail and just take off any residue you can. You don't want to be trying to get every single bit of that off first time round. Go as lightly as possible. Take any residue that you can and take that as a bonus. And then just keep repeating the process. Again, be very careful around areas where you've already had some damage. I'm going to finish this up off camera so I can use my hands a bit better, and then I'll show you the results. Right, so I've done as much with that as I dare to do. Like I said, I don't want to cause any damage by going too far. You can always take more off, you can't put more on. So as you can see, there's still quite a bit of glue residue there. But as I say, because there's already that existing damage on the black, I really don't want to make that any worse. So I'm going to go for a new tactic now. I've let that dry a bit. I've got the hairdryer. Clearly not my hairdryer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to now heat that glue. Nothing too intense, just hold it on in and around the area for a short amount of time. And then by heating that glue, it should make it a bit easier to rub off with the microfiber cloth. So now we've finished heating the glue, just going back to the old method of slowly, slow circles, very, very mildly damp microfiber cloth with the polish. Again, as you can see, I'm avoiding the damaged area, working my way around it. Just slowly going around in circles. I can already see it's coming off. And I think we're about there. So as you can see, all that's left is the damage, and thankfully that's not damage I've created. That's damage that was already there, so you can't ask for much more than getting rid of the sticker residue and not causing any more damage. That is far less noticeable than it was before. Really happy with how this has all come out. As I say, I could probably work on the back a little bit more, but to be honest, I'm not that bothered. So yeah, really happy with that. Next tip is make sure you let these dry sufficiently before you put them in a box protector. Last thing you want is trapping any moisture in there for years, because it will start to eat away at the cardboard. So I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to carefully place it in a box protector, making sure that the corners are like pressed in. So when you've got these little dog ears here, last thing you want to do is shove it into a box protector and have these all bending back. So you need to make sure you carefully put it in, or even open the box protector and close it from that end. As I say, I'm going to let it dry, put it in the box protector, and I'll show you guys the final result. Okay, so here's the final product. Really happy with that. It's like night and day compared to where it was. Obviously there are some light surface scratches on the box protector as well, but yeah, really happy with how this has turned out. This is now going to be taking his pride of place on the SNES wall. I've made a room for him. I just want to put a little disclaimer out there to say this is just the method I use. I've never had any problems using furniture polish. You have to do things very carefully, but don't come moaning to me if you wreck your boxes. But you've seen the way I do it. There's no detriment, right? It seems to just work perfectly. So yeah, that's the method I use. There are products on the market that you can buy, especially Google and things like that. So by all means, do whatever works for you. But yeah, I have managed to make a space on the SNES wall for this game. Obviously, it's quite a sought after game, so it's going to be going front and center. I'm going to be popping him down here next to Mr. Do and Michael Jordan. There he goes in his forever home. So next thing for me to say is a massive thank you for your patience with the Retro Ghetto 3.0 room tour. Guys, it's coming next week. Next Wednesday, I've been working tirelessly behind the scenes to get the room perfect and how I want it. Yeah, the video will be going live next Wednesday. Make sure you subscribed. I'll see you all then. Really happy with this CEX lottery win. Thanks again for watching. Play your games, keep it retro. In a bit.
Retro Ghetto.